I will tell you how I learned to speak English without focusing too much on learning English grammar. I will tell you what I did. What I did was, I exposed myself more to the English language. And as a result of my constant exposure to the English language, I naturally learned the basic grammar rules in English, along with learning to speak English. That is exactly what happened in my case. I didn't spend a major chunk of my time mugging up some grammar textbooks or doing some grammar exercises to become fluent in English. No, I haven't done anything like that in my life. Instead, what I did was, as I said, I exposed myself more to the English language. I focused only on learning to speak English rather than learning grammar first. So, in the light of my English learning experience, I can tell you that learning grammar alone is not going to help you in any way to become fluent in English. In order to become fluent in English, what you have to do is you have to consciously expose yourself more to the English language over an extended period of time, say 1 month or 6 months or whatever. And when you do that, you will definitely gain two things altogether in your life. You will gain basic fluency in English as well as basic grammar knowledge in English. So I am telling you, if you consciously expose yourself more to English, then consciously or unconsciously, you will pick up the way of speaking English and its grammar rules over time. That's what happened to me. So that's why I'm telling you, okay? I used to listen to many English content on YouTube on a regular basis, and it became a habit to me. In addition to listening, I also inculcated the habit of reading English books or articles into my daily routine. And the results were amazing. Slowly, I understood how the sentences were being created in English to convey our thoughts and messages. I understood how to structure the sentences for the past, present, and future events in English. So, after having understood the difference between the sentences in the past, present, and future time periods, then I searched more about the usage of English tenses on YouTube. The past tense, present tense, and future tense, all those things I have searched on YouTube. And I watched all these video lessons about the tenses in my mother tongue. The reason why I choose to watch the grammar lessons in my mother tongue is that when somebody explains the grammar lessons in my mother tongue, then I will better understand the concepts. So that's why I choose to watch the grammar lessons in my mother tongue. Okay. So when I learned the basics of the tenses in English, I felt a little bit easier to understand things in English. I was able to speak English by creating sentences on my own. Even though it was broken English, I felt like I was able to speak English with whatever minimum knowledge I had. So I thought it was enough. My thought process was like, okay, now I have learned the tenses and now I can speak English. So it's enough. But I was wrong. Because when I moved on with my English learning, I encountered new things like could have, would have, should have, could have been, should have been, would have been. I had no idea how to use all these things while speaking English. Even I was doubtful of the proper usage of the prepositions like in, on, at, for. All these things I was not aware of the proper usage of these prepositions while speaking English. So obviously, I searched all these things individually on YouTube. I searched like how to use would have in a sentence, how to use the prepositions in English. I watched all these grammar lessons in my mother tongue for my better understanding. So my learning process, my English learning process is going on like this. I listen to English content, I read English content, and I note down all the unfamiliar grammar stuff and I search them on YouTube. As I mentioned before, I would rather watch the grammar lessons only in my mother tongue because the concepts become more clear to me only through my mother tongue. But that doesn't mean that I binge watch the grammar lessons. No, I don't learn grammar alone to become fluent in English because it's hard to learn like that. Whatever basic grammar knowledge I have is something that I have learned as the byproduct of my constant consumption of English content. Ever since the day I started my English learning journey, I used to consume a small bit of English content every day. And there would be something in that small unit to learn, be it an English word that is new to me, or a grammar rule, or anything else. So it is from that small unit that I have so far expanded my vocabulary and grammar knowledge. Now I realize that a small unit can go a long way. That's true because now I can speak English. So before winding up the video, as a good friend of yours or as a fellow English learner, I would like to tell you that if any of you are focused too much on learning grammar now, then it's time to rethink and take a deviation to the easiest path to becoming fluent in English. Exposure to the English language is what is going to ease your English communication skills. So I strongly advise you not to focus on learning grammar first. Instead, you watch, read and listen to English content. Then you will learn grammar along the way. Bye.